Brahma Gururvishnu Gururdevo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Harihi Om. We welcome you all for today's program titled Heart to Heart Inspiring Messages, completely dedicated to Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda Ji Maharaj. In this program, we are going to interview few close devotees of Pujya Gurudev from Delhi region. And also, we will know how teachings of Pujya Gurudev helped all of them to transform their lives. Let me introduce to myself. I am Swami Prakarshananda, presently serving at Chinmaya Center of World Understanding, New Delhi. Today we have with us Shri Ravi Chaudhry ji. Ravi ji at present is a trustee of Delhi Chinmaya Seva Trust. In his professional life, he was a former chairman for Tata Group of Companies, and Ravi ji is a consultant for the governments of Switzerland, Turkey and Brazil. But he is no doubt a humble devotee of Pujya Gurudev and serving Chinmaya mission tirelessly. Before we start our discussion, let us chant Pujya Gurudev's few names. Om Nijanandaya Namaha. Om Nirapekshaya Namaha. Om Nispruhaya Namaha. Om Nirupamaya Namaha. Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha. Om Nityaya Namaha. Om Niranjanaya Namaha. Om Paramaya Namaha. Om Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Pavanaya Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. Harihi Om. Ravi ji, as we chant Pujya Gurudev's names from the Namavali, always you keep remembering Pujya Gurudev so closely. So I would like to ask you, out of this 108 names of Pujya Gurudev, which is your favorite and why?
Thank you, Swamiji, first for this absolutely extraordinary opportunity to recount together the extent of Gurudev's influence on our life, our work, and our future, all the time, every moment. It's such a joy to be together with you this morning.
Raviji, so welcome.
The question you asked, thank you, it's an easy one for me. Of all the 108 names, the one which I always think of him by is Om Shri Ishwaraya Namaha. For me, for our family, he is Sakshat Bhagwan. And therefore, no other word describes it better than Ishwara.
Raviji, you have really touched my heart. We all, I think, consider him not as a human being, but the actual God in the human body.
That's true. That's true. And all other names really are encompassed in this. Om Ishwaraya Namaha.
This was fantastic expression, Raviji. So, as I know that, your whole family, your wife, your kids, and your grandkids also, the part of complete Chinmaya family. I just want to know, what is a magic?
I get very nostalgic whenever I think, and it's quite often, of the first time I met Gurudev. 45 years ago, I was driving home from my office in Calcutta. And on the way, I noticed a huge banner, Gita Gyan Yagna by Swami Chinmayananda. It was natural. I stopped the car and I said, let me go and see what is happening. And while I was walking to the Yagnashala, my memories filled up with my childhood. My father was a professor in a postgraduate college in Punjab University. Every day he used to recite one chapter of Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. So I grew up with a great reverence for Gita, and an opportunity to hear a great Swami speak about Gita was irresistible. I entered the Yagnashala. It was bigger than a football ground, and it was packed almost. And someone told me, Gurudev will be coming in a few minutes, please sit down.
I just want to interrupt. Gurudev used to take morning lectures as well as evening lectures. So what was this?
This was the evening lecture, that's 6:30 to 8. And I reached about 6:25. And I walked in, and a melodious song was being sung, which has been my favorite song ever since then.
Can I ask you, what was that?
Hari Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana.
Oh.
And after some time, the song stopped, and a few ladies, I could see from the back, started reciting the shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita. And just about then, a tall Swami with a majestic presence appeared on the stage. The moment he appeared on the stage, the shloka was Shri Bhagavan Uvach, and then the shloka finished. And they stopped, and Gurudev sat. And the first words he spoke, I felt it was Shri Bhagavan speaking. I don't remember the words, but his voice touched something which was inside me and which I had never imagined was touchable. So this was my divine experience of meeting him.
I can say, Raviji, what a magic, Gurudev's words were so powerful and divine.
Yes.
So they used to directly hit the heart of everyone.
That is right. That's right. In fact, one felt that even though there were thousands of people, I felt he was talking to me directly, and he was answering my questions directly. So when I got back home, I related the whole thing to my wife, And I didn't talk of anything else till the time when we together came the next day. We found out from somebody if we could take our children for his blessings, and learnt where he was staying. And they said, yeah, oh, he loves children. So we took our children, we got them out from school early, and we took all four of us, our son and daughter, to where he was staying. He met us as if he has known us all our life. And he said, where are my children? I am waiting for you.
You know, I recollect Pujya Guruji's words. Recently he said that God makes it possible the disciple and the Guru to meet with each other for the spiritual journey. And it's so true now.
It was his grace entirely. And after that, since then, I think whenever we were in the same town and he was there, we were in Calcutta, we soon moved to Bombay, 2 years later, and then in Delhi. So we would see him every time when he was in town, all of us.
Yeah.
And the love we received from him, the attention we received from him, as I'll mention to you later, was unparalleled. It was an experience we live every day.
That's so great. Now, I just want to know that Pujya Gurudev used to go for bhikshas in different devotees' houses. So was there any experience of bhiksha offered to Pujya Gurudev at your home?
Yes, we were in Bombay, and we wrote to him, Swamiji, we would like to seek your permission to invite you to grace our home for bhiksha after your lecture on this day, and if you could please bless us. And we got this response from him.
Can you just please share some
Yes,
nice words out of it?
Your kind letter has just reached me. I was waiting for your call to come to my children's home.
Raviji, blessed you are.
I am so happy to hear that my children are doing fine in their school, both in their studies and extracurricular activities. More when we meet. Hari Om, Jai Jagdishwara. Please inform Rangan also.
So true.
And this was 3rd of March, 1990, and he left for Lucknow the next morning. And 2 days later, we received this letter from him. Shri and Shrimati Ravi Chaudhry, son and daughter. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
So he is, asking means he is putting everyone's name. Oh, that's really touching.
And the love is that he not only writes the letter in hand, but even the address is fully written in his hand, lest somebody should type the address wrong and shouldn't reach us. And what did he say? Salutations. Ravi must have gone to Europe. Sumir and Shivani and Ashwin all must get one hug each from me. Jai Jagdishwara, Jai Jagdishwara. It was an absolutely spellbinding feeling for us. And we have very, very fond memories of this and many other moments.
So great. Raviji, now my next question is about, the professional life and then Pujya Gurudev's teaching. Like you worked in a carport section, as well as you are a consultant or advisor to, I think, Switzerland government, Brazil government, and a Turkey government. Now I just want to know how Pujya Gurudev's teaching help you to, focus your subject to all your audiences.
Yes. In fact, the central message of all his teachings, which triggered me to pursue the path with great seriousness was that most of the time we are busy pursuing our desires in the outer world, physical possessions and material wealth. But these neither give lasting happiness nor contentment, which matters either at home or at work.
Raviji, I just want to, share something, because here the scripture says this one who gets the discrimination power only can understand this reality, what you're talking about.
Well, I think the Gurudev's communications were so crystal clear, and if you listen to him with your eyes, there was never a doubt left. The real listening, as he told us once, eyes are the only source of acquiring wisdom.
That's also, this is Gurudev's way.
Yes. Ears, he said, are well aligned for it to come and go out.
I think, he is trying to explain that if your mind is distracted, then your eyes focus also gets distracted.
Yes, that's right. So, he was saying that, I'm glad you raised this point, all your eyes are always looking outward, focused on everything outward. Now, you don't realize that there is something inside you which is your true self and which is a treasure trove of infinite wealth. And the message I got was that if the outer wealth is destroyed, you can recreate it. If inner wealth is destroyed, everything is destroyed. But if you can learn to preserve inner wealth, then you can face any challenges individually, at work, in society, or in nation.
But again, I just want to interrupt and add that how these teachings really reach to your audience.
Yes. Now, when I speak to them, I tell them that you are all great leaders. You all have what I used to call base camp leadership traits.
See it again?
Base camp. I call it as a journey to the summit of leadership. So, when you are climbing a mountain, you reach a base camp. To reach the base camp also requires oxygen there, and it's a lot of skills of leadership.
I remember you said base camp. So, when I had been to, we took a tour for Kailash Manasarovar Yatra, and for 3 days pradakshina of Kailash ji, you have to reach to the base camp.
Right, right, absolutely. So, those who have reached the base camp of leadership typically have two sets of traits. One, traits of the body or physical traits, enormous energy, stamina, willpower, and traits of the mind, which relate to ability to conceptualize and visualize goals and future, ability to build teams, motivate them, and ability to plan and execute. To reach the summit of exceptional leadership, Gurudev's message is that you need another set of leadership traits, and these are traits of the heart, which can come to a leader naturally if his thinking and thoughts are anchored on the dormant strengths within. So, you all want to be exceptional leaders, then all you have to do is not to go somewhere else, but probe within and acquire the traits which will make you travel to the summit so easily. And I tell them usually 3 or 4 quotes of Gurudev, which I always keep with me, economics of inner wealth is a core component of our scriptures. Moral values are the instruments for the economic development of inner wealth. The quality of values accepted by your intellect determines the quality of your leadership. If you have healthy values, great challenges can be met by minimum expenditure of effort and minimum exhaustion. And then I tell them of two specific qualities. Gurudev, of course, has given a lot, but in terms of leadership context, I chose these two values which I found triggered interest and a followership among the audiences I spoke to. One, selfless action. Yaticha labh santushto dvandatito vimatsara sam siddhavasiddhocha kritvapi na nibadhyate. He is content with what comes to him, free from the pairs of opposites and envy, even-minded in success and failure. Though acting, he is not bound in any way. He becomes free from dualities and conflicts within, a man of selfless action. And he said, results, success is assured for a man of selfless action. You don't even have to hanker after it.
So, here we can understand Gurudev is emphasizing the Karma Yoga principle and how Karma Yoga helps to grow holistically, right?
Yes, that's right, that's right. In different audiences, I explain that a little more. That Gita gives three different paths, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, but it's all one path as far as I see. Now people, I mean many people, but I started with the Jnana Yoga, understanding. Once I understood what Gita is saying intellectually, then I found that the karma which you have to do has to be selfless. Otherwise, you haven't got the correct understanding. And when karma is selfless, who do you dedicate it to? The Lord. So there's bhakti in that. As I pursued this path, I realized one morning how blessed we are that Gurudev has given me the greatest gift one could give. He has gifted me to me.
So beautifully said. Raviji, Gurudev has said so many beautiful things, and we have a lot of quotations of Pujya Gurudev. So, which of his quotation is dear to you and why?
Of course, his whole life is a quotation, actually. But you know what I
What a nice thought.
What I treasure the most are what he wrote. I picked up two of his letters. He wrote to me and my wife in May 1989. I am leaving for Far East, and I am sending these few lines to my girl and boy and also their parents. Regular daily study can change anyone to be a better human being. And as and when individual changes, his word around also has to change.
So he's, I can understand, emphasizing swadhyaya.
That's right.
Self-study is must.
Absolutely. If you change the way you look at the word also changes.
So true, so true.
And then he wrote this letter addressed to our children, Ashwin and Shivani. What you desire, you may not get, but what you deserve can never miss your getting them. Come to deserve success and achievement by tireless effort and consistent thought.
So he is again emphasizing here the self-effort and its importance.
That's right. He was imploring all the time that there is nothing really unique. You don't have to pick on one thread or two or three or 10 principles of life. You be your natural self as guided by your true self. Listen to the voice of conscience within and do that fearlessly.
So, I can understand that unless and until we listen to the scriptures from master like Pujya Gurudev and then reflect over it, this voice, then only we can hear our own inner voice. Otherwise, the voice is there, but commonly not heard. Do you
Yes.
think so?
Yes, this is, well, I think more than anyone else in the last century, 100 years in our country, has one understood this better than Gurudev. I think he had the same thought which you have so crisply outlined, but unlike others, he started doing something about it. He said, I have to reach as many people in the world as I can so that they change and catalyze change with such a spark that it can become a global change. Starting with 5 devotees in his first Gyan Yagna in Pune, today it is a colossal organization with dedicated Swamis like you, Swami Prakarshananda. You have been a great boon for the northern region ever since you have come. And we all feel so much love and affection and a genuine regard in the way you are continuing to teach his teachings so selflessly. That is all over visible.
So, Ravi ji, from your all different expressions, I can feel total dedication, complete love and gratitude to Pujya Gurudev. And it was so nice and joyful experience for me to listen to you. Thank you so much. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.
And then he put his vintage signature of Om on that letter. And of course, I was very excited, very thrilled, and very happy. I did my pranam and prostrations, and then came out. As I was coming out, the gentleman who was standing in the corner followed me. He was, I came to know later, he was an MLC, member of Legislative Assembly of Himachal Pradesh. He said, Madam, don't you think it's too early for you to be buying a kutia for yourself? You are still very young. So I just looked at him and smiled. Madam, he continued following me. Have you checked with your husband? I said, I'll talk to my husband. What's your problem, sir? No, but I think you are too young for all this. So I wanted to tell him that if at 50 I am too young, then what is too late?
Over the years, I cannot imagine my life without the teachings of Pujya Gurudev,
So true.
and he's helped me to tide over a very difficult time of my life. It wouldn't have been the same without the Chinmaya family that he has created around us, around me. So much love, so much affection, and it would not have been the same if Pujya Gurudev hadn't been there.
Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव।